You know, making any sort of mistake is like the biggest fear that I have. You know, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. Like, it really is my dream come true. But then it's like, man, once the green flag drops, that's my zone. I am Shelby Hall, and I am competing in the 2021 Rebelle Rally, an 8-day navigational rally.
My name is Penny Dale. I'm from Vancouver, BC, Canada. I met Shelby just a year ago, just a couple days before our first Rebelle Rally. I kind of got involved in the rally because I took a year off in 2016 and I did an overlanding trip from Vancouver to South America. And during that trip, it just became so apparent to me that you really have to be self-sufficient. You really have to know where you are. You can't rely on GPS. And so when that trip ended, I just coincidentally met my first teammate, and I learned about the Rebelle through her. And it was just the perfect opportunity to continue honing in those skills so that for the next big adventure in life that I would have these incredible skills to take with me.
I actually come from a desert racing family. So my grandfather was a very successful desert racer. So I grew up literally in the back seat of a four-wheel drive vehicle. I just loved it. So I wanted to be a part of what my family did my whole life. So obviously my dad followed footsteps of my grandfather, and they all were professional drivers and racers, and so I followed suit. I saw that they were having a ton of fun. They got to be driving and out in the desert and always adventuring. I think that was what I saw the most. It was just like, it is just like off-roading. You never know what is around the next bend, and everything's always kind of a surprise, and you're winging it most of the time. And I feel really fortunate that now that's what I get to do.
We're really coming out to zero in on the things that we felt were kind of our blind spots. So I think when you're competing in anything or trying to excel in anything, you have to be able to recognize what are my blind spots, what are my weak areas, because it's most people, they want to do more of what they're really good at. And so we were really paying attention to, even last year, okay, what do we feel really good about? What do we feel less great about? And taking notes on what we want to spend time working on, so we can really be that next level of competition with ourselves. You know, in the Rebelle, even though you are competing against other teams, ultimately you're competing against your best self and your best day. You can't really think about the other teams.
In this rally, you see people all around you all the time, and it makes you question if you're in the right place, if you're doing the right thing, why are they over there? And it starts to really become a mental game.
Being here this weekend, our focus was, working on zeroing in on checkpoints, working on really having clean headings, working on how we communicate as a team, because a lot of, especially being out here, a lot of the rally, we're not in an OHV area, you're on roads, and it's a lot easier to navigate on a road. But in an environment like this, you're looking out into the desert, and how do you describe which dune? How do you describe which bush? There's a lot of bushes. And so we're just trying to zero in on those things.
You never get better at something unless you work at it. So coming out here to dust off the cobwebs and get stuck and figure out different lines and familiarize ourselves with the area, and going to places that I don't want to because they scare me a little bit. I'll see a dune ahead of us, and there's two options. There's two ways to get around that dune. One is longer, but much simpler, and one is more direct, but a little bit scarier. Today, we definitely had this. I was like, okay, this really big part of me wants to go right and go around it, but going straight is way more direct, and I'm never going to get over that fear unless I just go. And so this is the time to do it, when we are not under the pressure of competition, but the time when we're here to train.
Yeah.
So that's what we're out here to do.
Okay, so this is a great map for us to train with today. And so each of these scale rulers we use to plot, and we also use it to measure.
Let's see if I can figure this out.
The biggest part of the rally is always our precision. So everything from like plotting on the map to measuring our distance, like everything has to be so precise. I just hold my pencil, don't move it at all, rotate the scale so that it's running. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly how it goes. So we typically try to have like 2, 3, or 4 sets of everything so that we don't waste time, and so that in the event that we lose like one set of navigation equipment or something like that, or it gets misplaced, that we have something to fall back on really quickly and it's ready to go and organized just like everything else is. So it seems like overkill, but you just never know. And this is definitely overkill. Yeah, so it looks really good. And then I would just draw that really faint line and then use the scale to measure the distance after. Okay. Sometimes I'll put it there just so I know how long.
Well, that's what I was thinking, yeah, like not to be like across the whole thing.
Yeah, we want that dot to be perfectly on that line.
Perfect.
You can see that, right? You can tell exactly where that checkpoint is. It's a lot to think about.
No pressure.
And we make these decisions on the trail. Yeah. So Penny will plot all of the checkpoints in the morning so that we have an idea of what the whole day looks like. So we'll get the map and there's nothing on it. And before we leave, Penny will have plotted all of the checkpoints, so we'll have an idea of what the day can look like. We typically cannot reach all of the checkpoints throughout the day, so we have to make a plan of what we think, based off of what the topography on the map looks like. We make a plan. Of course, it can be totally different.
Yeah, so we're making decisions
on the fly.
On the fly as we go.
Okay, I'm gonna time you.
Oh God.
Just kidding.
Just do it, actually.
Hey, well, let me figure out how to do it. Okay, ready, set, go. The pressure's on.
Done.
2 minutes, 4 seconds. It's pretty dang good. What's really cool about the KO2s is they're the perfect tire for this type of competition where we are experiencing all different types of terrain. I mean, we are off-road, what do you say, probably 90% of the time, but we do have our transit sections that are on highway, which over 8 days, when we're on the highway, I'm still looking forward to having a nice ride, something that's a little bit quieter, and the KO2s are amazing.
So you said it was a big mental game and obviously things like that. What do you do to coach yourself through these things to get, both of you together, like as partners, but like how do you, they're big,
Penny's my coach.
Yeah.
Well, we encourage each other, like she has tough moments, I have tough moments. I feel like I'm not feeling confident in my navigation, and she sees things that I don't, and we do it for each other, which is like when you don't know somebody before you compete and you only have 2 days before, going into 8 days of competition, 10, 12-hour days in a car together, sharing a tent, we're very committed to each other. You don't know if you're gonna have a really good relationship or a good communication style, or if you're gonna be nice to each other. You don't know how you're gonna relate. if you're gonna have the same humor, to be able to like let go of things, because that's a big part of it too. But yeah, we really like encourage each other, and like, you know, that exact scenario today, I see this, it's easier here, and I see this and it's steeper, and I said, you know, do whatever you feel comfortable with, but I'm confident that you can take the left. And she charged the left and she did it with absolute ease. So, you know, it's doing things like that. Knowing when to focus, knowing when we can breathe and like laugh it off, knowing when to focus again. Because you can't be on for 10 hours a day for 8 days. It's insane.
We try.
We try so hard, but we have, you know, we have an incredible time together. It's so much fun. And so like really learning to like focus on like trusting the distance that we've gone, that it is the distance. Is it the distance? Have we gone too far? Do we need to go back? Figuring that out. And then going the distance again at the next heading, and conserving our gas, and having those conversations with each other, like, hey, how's the gas doing? How are you feeling? Yeah, we need some water. You know, like all those things that play into a day when it's like 100 degrees outside. You know, you have to like take care of all those little things.
Being out here, I cannot wait. I really, really, really cannot wait. I haven't been this excited about something in a long time.